Hello students of grade 1. I hope everyone is well and staying safe. Today we will learn about heating and cooling and why is the sea salty. So let's get started. What is matter? Matter can change from one state to another by heating or cooling. What are the three states of matter? Solid, liquid, and gas are the three states of matter. States of matter. Solid. Particles of matter are very close to each other. They have definite shape and volume, and solids are tightly packed. Liquid. Liquid have definite volume, but they do not have a definite shape. They take up the shape of the container in which they are kept. It can be thick like honey and thin like water. No matter what, they always flow. Gas. Particles of matter are very far away from each other. Gases have neither definite shape nor volume. They can fill the entire space or volume of a container, irrespective of the container size. What is heat and cold? Heat, sun, fire, or hot. Or we can say objects that have high temperature. Cold, ice, snow, ice cream. We can sum up as an objects with low temperature. Freezing is changing from a liquid to a solid, and melting is changing from a solid to a liquid. What happens to different materials when you heat them up or cool them down? Some solid melts and become liquid when they are heated. For example, ice will become liquid water at the room temperature. Some liquids changes into solid. For example, when water is kept in the freezer, it turns into ice, that is solid. Gas takes the shape of the container it is filled in. Example, balloon or tube. What is reversible and irreversible changes? Reversible changes, the change which can be reversed. The materials can change back to how they were before. Irreversible change, the change which cannot be reversed. The materials cannot be changed back to how they were before. For example, if you put the liquid water in the freezer, it will turn back to its original state, that is ice. Similarly, if you put the chocolate and butter out of the sun and leave them in the cool shade or in the freezer, it will harden again. These changes are called reversible changes. A change is called irreversible if it cannot be changed back again. Example, when we burn a piece of wood or paper, it turns to ash and smoke. We cannot obtain paper and wood from the ash again. Burning of candle is an irreversible change, but melting of wax is a reversible change, as the wax can again be heated and shaped into desired shape. When the rain flows over the land, the water washes salt and other minerals out of the rocks and gets mixed with the water in the streams, rivers, etc. Rivers carry the salt to the sea. The salt stays in the sea as no water flows out of the sea. When the sea water evaporates to form clouds, almost all the salt stays behind. The left behind salt slowly gets collected over a period of time, and this is how seawater gets salty. Almost 96% of water on earth is in the oceans. We can drink fresh water, but drinking salt water will make us very ill. Soluble and insoluble materials. Soluble materials like salt, sugar, and coffee dissolve in water. They are soluble. They usually dissolve faster and better in warm or hot water. Insoluble materials like pepper, sand are insoluble. The materials that does not dissolve even in hot water is called insoluble materials. Let us conduct a test to check the solubility of salt, sugar, and sand. Take 3 glasses of water, a spoon, a salt, sugar, and sand. And before the test, predict which ones will dissolve and which will not. Add a spoon of salt in 1 glass and stir it. You will notice that the salt completely disappears. It dissolves in water. Similarly, add a spoon of sugar in the 2nd glass. You will observe that the sugar also dissolves in water. Finally, add the sand to the glass of water. You will see that the sand does not dissolve in water. It remains at the bottom of the glass. Materials like salt and sugar are called soluble as it dissolves completely in water. Materials that dissolve in water are called soluble materials. Some materials which do not dissolve in water, like sand, are called insoluble materials. You can also conduct a test at home by using different materials like flour, talcum powder, coffee, etc. But before the test, predict which ones will dissolve and which will not. Add the same amount of material to make the test fair. Before I conclude, let us look into the 3 new words: dissolve, predict, and fair. That's all for today. Thank you and be safe.